On this episode of Cigars and Sea Stories, Bennett and Mike are talking about sheep. I wanted to talk about sheep. And the reason why I say sheep is because all too often a lot of veterans are mislabeled as sheep. As if like, oh, you're in this infrastructure within the overall military, and so you just understand that whole 1984 lockstep, this is what we'll do. Discipline is walking around in a formation. Like, oh my god, dude. You would not believe how many civilians out there think that your entire military experience is boot camp. It's 3 fucking months if you go to the Marine Corps, which is the hardest boot camp without a doubt, which is why everybody else who leaves any other branch of the U.S. military has to go through Marine Corps boot camp. Doesn't matter. You be a fucking Green Beret. You're going through our boot camp. You didn't learn anything about the Marine Corps in, I don't know, soft school or whatever. But I just say that shit because it's like so many people are looking at us.
True.
Don't you need structure? Isn't that why you went into the Marine? Fuck no. What, are you kidding me?
Well, what people don't realize is that it's actually like a real job to an extent. I mean, when you're not out in the field or you're not deployed, it's like a regular kind of like, 5:30 to 4 o'clock job or whatever the hours were. I don't remember. I think we had PT I think we had initial formation at 5:30 and then we had PT at 6. From 6 to 7, and then from 7 to 9, it was, shit, shower, shave. And then we were back to work at 9 till, I don't remember, noon, 11? I don't fucking remember.
Lunch show was.
We had lunch. Now, in the Marine Corps, didn't we have a 2-hour lunch?
No, hell no.
Was it a 1-hour lunch?
45 minutes.
Bullshit. Not for me.
You had a 2-hour lunch?
You know what?
What, are you kidding me?
I just kind of did whatever the fuck.
Of course you did. Long hair, don't care. Recon over there.
I guess we just kind of did what the fuck we wanted. But anyway, yeah, man.
Dude, I just bring it up because it's like, I just got off this little road trip. We're kicking this here. After the road trip, all of this other stuff, and I've been around the nation. We went and saw you. Well, I've been around the Northeast. I'll put it to you that way.
Yes, I was about to say. No, you went from Michigan to, you went from North Carolina to Michigan. You did a big ass triangle. Yeah. And you went at an inverted triangle. Yep. You went to Massachusetts and then went back to fucking Mad Max Road Warrior yesterday for 14 and a half hours.
Just getting Bro, and everybody's like, this guy's got to be out of his fucking mind. And I am. I was having loads of fun. Alone on a motorcycle. No music. No nothing. Just alone on a motorcycle with your thoughts. It's one of the greatest things in the world. It's just, But I was thinking...
for most people, that's like torture.
Right. To a lot of people, that's just, what the hell is wrong with you? Yeah. It's not sit and post, I'll tell you that much right now. It's not boring being on the back of a motorcycle. So... But I'm telling you, man, I was talking with a lot of folks and they were like, well, I thought that you learned to follow in the military and you learned all of these other different things. And then, you kind of get to a level where you can give orders. And I'm like, look, all that I can do is speak intelligently to my own experiences, but that is not at all how the United States Marine Corps works. You are constantly being trained in leadership. And basically, I do have to say this, until you are a Lance Corporal with a little bit of salt, just a little bit, you don't really have a brain of your own. And I say it that way because you're learning the ins and outs of the Fleet Marine Force when you get out there. If you're a non-commissioned officer who can't think for yourself, then you're a useless non-commissioned officer. You shouldn't be a non-commissioned officer. We'll make you an E3 again. And the majority of E4s can think for themselves in the Marine Corps, but they are gophers. That's all that I remember. I was a leader, I was a vehicle commander and stuff like that, don't get me wrong, but as an E4, I might as well have been a fucking gopher.
You get all the shit jobs.
Right. You're a leader. Go lead that working party.
Yeah, go lead that fucking police call.
Exactly.
Go gaze at some fucking meat for the piss test.
You're going to be the pecker checker on this one. Good job, Corporal.
Good job, Corporal. Yeah.
And then...
That's why it's always good to have junior corporals to you. Because then you can just be like, yeah, it's not my gig. It's your gig.
Yeah. It's not my day for that.
Pass the buck.
Well, and I got to bring it up because it's one of these things where it's like, I think people got it in their heads somewhere along the line that the military is just, you show up, you do whatever they say, which I don't know who they is, because you're comprising the
we always have we already have the proverbial they with air quotes they. they're just fucked up. I fucking hate them. Like we do that to ourselves in the military. Let's be honest. And I remember that was one of my favorite sayings. Who the fuck is they? Who are you talking about? They? You mean me or platoon sergeant, motherfucker? Is that who you're talking about? They? Because I am they, bitch.
And I throw it out there like that because we were talking about John Glenn, right? I was chit-chatting with somebody over the weekend. I was in Massachusetts, and I was talking with somebody about John Glenn's famous speech, right? With Howard Metzenbaum. I think that's who it was. And he's talking about you never held a real job, right? And it's just like, dude, this is, ridiculous. Yeah, it's Howard Metzenbaum.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
I do know what you're talking about.
So there's a Marine gunnery sergeant who he memorized the whole thing, and it's ridiculous, but I don't even know who Howard Metzenbaum is. I'm pretty sure he was the incumbent at the time. Let's see here. Yeah. Glenn went on to defeat Metzenbaum in the primary and went on to win the general election. So anyway, if you haven't already heard this, I'll slaughter it for you guys real quick. So in 1974, John Glenn was going up against the incumbent, Howard Metzenbaum, specifically for congressional seat. Well, it's for the Senate. So anyway, Howard Metzenbaum said, how do you expect to lead in the Senate when you've never held a real job? To John fucking Glenn. Let me tell you what, you don't say that to a man of that stature.
And the first man that orbited the fucking Earth. Anyway.
No big deal. So he said, I spent 23 years in the United States Marine Corps. I lived through 2 wars. I flew 149 missions. My plane was hit by anti-aircraft fire on 12 different occasions. I was in the space program. It wasn't my checkbook. It was my life that was on the line. It was not a 9-to-5 job where I took time off to take the daily cash receipts to the bank. I asked you to go with me as I went the other day to the Veterans Hospital and looked these men with their mangled bodies in their eye and tell them they didn't hold a real job. You go with me to any Gold Star mother and you look them in the eye and you tell her that her son did not hold a real job. You go with me to the space program and go as I have gone to the widows and orphans of Ed White and Gus Grisham and Roger Chafee, and you look those kids in the eye and tell them that their dad didn't hold a real job. You go with me on Memorial Day coming up and you stand in Arlington National Cemetery where I have more friends than I'd like to remember, and you watch those waving flags. You stand there and you think about this nation, and you tell me that those people didn't have a real job. I'll tell you, Howard Metzenbaum, you should be on your knees every day of your life thanking God that there were some men who held a job, and they required a dedication to purpose and a love of country and a dedication to duty that was more important than life itself. And their self-sacrifice is what made this country possible. I've held a real job, Howard. Ugh. Do not be a fucking sheep. Do not be a sheep. Achieve greatness and allow everybody else to call you fucking crazy. It doesn't matter. Go for it. I just, love it. Because there are so many people out there who look at you and they go, oh yeah, your military service didn't really, line you up for anything. You're out of your fucking mind. I'm going to tell you right now, if you're a person who honestly believes that your military service did not align you for any... Your military service aligned you to be able to go in and absolutely just trounce everybody in the building. What you don't realize is they're trying to hold something behind you. They realize that you are better. I'm going to tell you that much right now. You are better. You have gone triumphantly, expeditiously, and done the other things that they cower over fear of. It's just that simple. You're brave. That's it. It's being scared shitless and doing it anyway. And that's what I don't give a fuck what your MOS was. That's what everybody signed up for. Because I'm telling you right now, there are tons of people who are out there, Ben Bernanke being one of them, which fuck that guy in every way conceivable. Ben Bernanke says the U.S. military does not align anybody for any success. It's actually to a detriment to go into the U.S. military. That is a goddamn falsehood. You're going to realize real quick that student loans and all of this other bullshit that you got did not help you out, right? If you haven't already figured that out. The United States military will train you in order to be a self-starter and a self-leader, let alone train you how to shave your face and all of the other stupid little by-the-numbers that you need to learn in the beginning in order to master brilliance in the basics so that you can go forward and achieve success elsewhere. And it's just that simple. Because these other folks, the sheep, they don't have it. They don't have it. Not even a little bit. Dude, that's why I smile when people are like, hey man, did you ever think about about trimming your beard? No, I didn't. Nope. I mean, like, I'm sitting here, going through, thinking about this whole road trip. Saw a lot of friends, saw a lot of family. It was fantastic. But I met a lot of limited people, which I was pretty shocked by. And I'm not saying at the family events or anything else like that. I'm saying along the way. People that I encountered along the way. Folks that I'll never see again. I also encountered a hell of a lot of very good Samaritans along the way. Kind-hearted, amazing people. And primarily they were fellow veterans, don't get me wrong, because we find each other. But I bring it up because it's one of those things. I mean, this is something that we said early on. I really believe that a lot of veterans get mislabeled as sheep, and they can't just learn a worker bee job to go and be a worker bee. That goes entirely against the grain for a lot of us. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I wasn't going to say, there's a lot of us that are fucking sheep. Let's be honest. But you're trained to not be. I don't subscribe to the fact that, joining the military makes you a sheep by any stretch of the imagination. But I can tell you that after service, a lot of times people just want to be fucking sheep.
Yep.
And they go do that shit.
Yep, by all means. You want to take the blue pill, hop back into the Matrix, go for it.
Yep. Exactly.
Well, and I say it that way also because there are a lot of guys and gals who are self-starters and they say, well, it doesn't need to be entrepreneurship. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that you have initiative. That's the biggest thing. That you have initiative and everybody around you is just going like, hey, you can't do that. Then I'm telling you right now, I rarely ask for forgiveness, and I damn near never request permission. I just do. You know what I mean? How'd you get the time off?
I do.
I
just
did it.
I just kind of did it.
Right.
Yeah, that happens a lot. I mean, it's just one of those things. Like, I don't know. I'm not gonna be. I'm not gonna. What's the right way to put it? I'm not. I just don't sit. I'm not gonna sit at my desk and do nothing.
No.
Like, I got shit to do. I mean, it's a slippery slope sometimes, but it's one of those things. It's like, then give me a job that challenges me.
Right.
Or that keeps me busy, because this is crazy.
Well, and it's like when you do good work,
and this is
more work.
Right. And this is why a lot of people hate their fucking jobs too.
Right.
Because they don't keep themselves active, or they don't, it's what it comes down to is truly their jobs are meaningless, and they get paid money to not do much of, like what's the movie Office Space?
Oh, goodness, yes.
Freaking amazing.
Exactly what I'm
movie.
Thinking of whenever we talk
amazing
about this
deployment,
type of stuff.
But it's like literally, you've got him sitting in his cubicle, and he's like, yeah, I probably do 15 minutes of real work every day.
Right.
And that's true, because you go fill out your TPS reports. You might go meet with somebody, fill out another TPS report about your meeting. Then you'll go to a meeting and sit in there for 2 hours or an hour and listen to the, whoever drone on about shit that you forgot that you're going to forget in 15 minutes anyway. And then you go back to your cubicle. It really is. That's a lot of people's existence, and that's fucking miserable.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, you wonder why people are so damn depressed and pissed off all the time. It's because their life has no purpose. You're working to live. That's insane.
Dude, I'm telling you.
It truly is insanity.
That right there is why 5-paragraph business plan exists. That's the essence of it. You know what I mean? Just, let's break out of that. Because it's counterproductive for the organization as a whole. Let's be honest here. You know what I mean? It's counterproductive to go sit in a meeting where some schmuck's droning on for 2 hours and you're never really going to get anything out of it. No one's really working.
But they do it all the time, bro.
Right. And if you guys know what we're talking about, by all means, chime in on social media. We're at Cigars and Sea. That's on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We're trying to get better, all of those other different things growing, so on. Check out the Cigars and Sea Stories listeners group, and we'll be happy to continue the conversation in there. All of our intimate moments are in the Cigars and Sea Stories listeners group. So, like Mike traveling across America being insane is in there. So
wicked stupid. It's not insane.
And And if you guys would like to chime in with your own thoughts on, break out of sheepdom. Break out of that. Maybe it's because I read 1984 on deployment probably 8 times. And when you're riding, going what I call, because it's not really a speed for how I ride, it's just mock Jesus. You know what I mean? It's hyperspace. The thought police can't get me if I'm traveling fast enough, kind of a deal. You know what I'm saying? You only have boundaries that are mental boundaries. That's it. There's no physical boundary that is preventing you from doing anything. So I think it was hilarious that, and I can't remember who said it. It was one of the leadership at one of the classes we attended, tongue in cheek. But he said, make as much money as you can without going to jail, right? That's the caveat.
Yeah, go.
Right?
Make as much money as you can without going to jail.
Yep.
Yes.
And I say it that way because a lot of people are pissed off at the system and they don't want to work. They don't want to go through the rigmarole. That totally makes sense. It's totally understandable. The game is so skewed right now, you would be shocked. You would be shocked at what you can honestly do out there.
Yeah, and but people, and here's the other crazy thing. So here's all the shit that's gone down over this weekend, with the protests and white nationalists, whatever the hell you want to call them, Nazi scumbags out there, trying to fight against the system, right? Right. That you just know. The bottom line is it comes down to, so that's a definition of sheep too.
Oh, absolutely.
You're a fucking sheep. If you can get behind something where that rhetoric is fucking common stance, you're a fucking sheep.
That's what it boils down
but they're trying to buck the system, and it's full of shit. They're just full of shit, all of them.
Well, I bring up sheep because of the context that you just brought it into, right? What it is you, as a human being, you're perceiving something, and then I look at it like a form of mind control. The more rhetoric that I can
for sure,
the better. Fuck yeah. A lot of people are like, oh, you joined because of 9/11. No, I didn't. Oh, you joined because, I knew that I was going to go in the military long before any of that ever took place. I knew exactly what I was going to do in the U.S. military. Before any of that took place. Mm-hmm. I knew that I was going to go and get some form of education out of the military, and then I was going to go and use that on the GI Bill. Like, I knew that as a child growing up. And I even told my parents when I was 12, don't worry about me in college or anything else like that. I'm going into the military. And they kind of laughed it off. And then when I was 17, I was like, sign here. Going in. This is happening.
Here, Mom.
You know that we're in the middle of a war. Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Marine
my
infantry.
Shit was different.
Made it.
Mine was, so yours was very deliberate as well.
Yeah.
Mine was not so deliberate. I didn't always know that I was going in the military, but here's the thing. This is one of those things, and this is my personality. I just went and did it. I saw the recruiter one day at the career center at school, whatever the fuck you want to call that thing. I don't remember. But I was in there. Shit, what was I looking at? I think I was looking at colleges or something. I don't know what the fuck I was looking at. But either way, I was in there, and the recruiter walks straight up to me and goes, hey, you ever thought about joining the Marine Corps? I was like, not really, but I am now. Those are my exact words. But I am now.
Hell
and
yeah.
then I went and I made a meeting, or we made a meeting. We made an appointment, and I was like, yeah, I think this is cool. So I took the ASVAB when they offered it, took it, he got the results. Next thing I know, I'm signing, and I went in open contract. That's the fucking craziest thing ever.
No, you skipped a step. You signed your ASVAB waiver, and then right? No?
ASVAB waiver, no. I went fucking open contract. And here's the funny part. I just talked to my recruiter the other day.
Yeah.
My Marine Corps recruiter.
How's she doing?
You're a smart ass. He reached out to me and was like, hey man, he's like, he wasn't sure it was me at first. And then I was like, turns out it is me. And then, Staff Sergeant Davis was his name.
Did he get out as a staff?
No, I think he got out as a gunny. Maybe I don't know. I didn't ask him.
My recruiter.
But I couldn't imagine because I know he did like another 10, 12 years more. No, it had to have been a while. So I can't imagine that he wasn't a gunny at least.
Yeah.
So But I didn't even tell my mom. I didn't talk to my mom about it. Nothing. I just went and signed that shit. And one day I came back. This is typical of me through my life, though. I think you and I kind of talked about this. I was just like, yeah, I joined the Marines. She's like, wait, what? And I was like, yeah, I'm going to Marine Corps. Because I had, gotten some offers to play soccer in college and stuff. But the problem is none of them were scholarships, that type of shit.
Yeah.
So I was like, how the fuck is my mom going to pay for school? Plus, I fucking hate school. I'm so sick of it.
Right.
So I was like, fuck it. I'm going in the Corps. So I watched Full Metal Jacket every day for about, 2-3 months after that. And I ran a lot, getting in shape before I went to boot camp. Drank, smoked, and fucked a lot.
Yep.
And then I shipped out July 27th, 1992.
God bless him.
It was like a month after I got out of high school, about.
Yep.
So, yeah, and my mom didn't even know until like May. I signed the paperwork in March, and I'm like, oh, yeah, by the way, just an asshole son, I guess.
Nope. Your guy knows exactly what you want to do. Dude, I'm telling you, that's the biggest thing is a lot of people, like I was the kid who acted out in class because I didn't like the bullshit that this guy was saying up front. Like, you have a degree in education. You've never gone and done any of this. Quit your bullshit and a bullshitter, right? So I was the kid who mouthed off in class. I would mouth off until they would give me a hall pass, and then I would go up to the library and actually study real knowledge. You guys thought no, don't get me wrong. I'd go out back and smoke a joint first, because, come on. You gave me a hall pass, right? And then I'd go up and I'd study knowledge. Not Marine Corps knowledge or anything stupid like that. No, I'm sorry. I would go up to the library and I would study books that were the dustiest. Like what is off the reading list? Because that's what school really is. See, they wrap you up in all of these different requirements and you're entirely stressed out just learning the bare bones basics. Like what'd you read growing up? To Kill a Mockingbird? Ha! Yeah, you know what I read? Tom Clancy. Fuck off. Okay, I'm going to read whatever fiction I want to read. You know what I'm saying? Which To Kill a Mockingbird is fiction. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. Like, even the author, I can't remember her name, she was talking to Greg Peck about it. Like, I made that up. I made that up. Okay, the whole book's made up. Thanks anyway. Adios, lady. But I say it that way because you're trying to strive for brilliance in the basics, but all anybody can do is take a bare bones basic test on your basic stuff that you go through, and everybody is entirely stressed out trying to meet those bare bone basic requirements. Oh, and then you're supposed to do this over the summer or something like that. Like, nope. In the Marine Corps, you either fill out your MCI so you're not getting promoted, devil dog. Do that. But do it. I don't give a fuck how you do it. Do it. That's it. Done. Right? That's true leadership. You are ordered to carry out that task. Why are you asking me how? You want me to turn my pocket inside out so that I can take you with me wherever I go? Go and carry out that task. I will be surprised by how you do it. I better not be surprised by the results. I've told you.
It's always that what's the adage? Rather beg for forgiveness than ask for permission or whatever the hell it is. Yeah.
Ask for permission rather than beg. Yeah. I would rather ask for forgiveness than beg for permission.
That's it. Yeah.
So just go and do it.
Just go do it. Make that shit happen.
Yeah.
It's like we're gonna have to do it anyway.
Grin and win.
If you have the foresight to be like, we're gonna have to do it anyway, so let's just do it.
Right.
Are you really gonna get in trouble? Yeah, maybe. I didn't tell you to fucking do that. How many times did you hear that shit?
Right.
I didn't tell you to do that.
There is one
I knew we were going to have to do it anyway.
There's one stupid mistake that you can make in life, and that's the one that gets you killed. Everything else is a life lesson. You can make one stupid mistake, and that gets you killed. Everything else, you're just learning. That's all that it boils down to. Dude, do you know how many fucking mistakes I made on this road trip? Do you know how much shit I left behind in different places and all of this other... Like, I was lucky to make it out of your place without being a fucking gear bomb. I'll tell you that much right now. Right? You know what I'm saying? But by God, I've got all of the essentials that are necessary. Like, I left some dirty clothes someplace. All right, hey, can you grab that shirt on the way? Okay, silly little mistake, lesson learned. So, it just...
Or not, because it doesn't fucking matter anyway.
Right. I say it that way because it's like our brothers and sisters are looking around going like, well, these guys are telling me which way's up and all of this other stuff. And I'm like, none of these people know what the fuck. You've been around the world. They haven't left their fucking home state, okay? Like, if you have not been outside of America, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I'm going to tell you that much right now. Canada and Mexico do not count. Okay, if you have not gone and spoken with some dirt merchant in a third world country, you have no fucking clue what you're talking about. You just don't. Okay, you just don't. You don't even realize that 85% of Afghans cannot read or write, that they wear watches solely as bracelets and jewelry. Somebody is speaking Arabic out of the Quran to them, and they're just accepting it. They can't read or fucking write, and somebody is speaking something in another goddamn language.
Well,
and they're like,
half of them can't even speak Arabic.
So a lot of these folks, that
right? Am I right though?
What's that?
I said half the time they can't even speak Arabic.
Right, that's what I'm saying. They can't even speak the tongue in which the book is being written in.
They speak something totally different.
It would literally be like you just walking into a church and everything's in Latin. And you're like, yeah, that's the word of God. What in the fuck are you talking about?
Totally is. Totally is, man. Totally is.
Totally is. And I use that specifically as an example because so many people on this side of the earth are like, well, why don't they just pick up all their shit and leave? Are you fucking stupid or something? They don't even know what the hell is going on. Like, I met Hazarian nomads who had no idea that a war was going on because they don't care about war. They're like, adios, man. You know, riding off into the fucking desert.
Right. They're like, war? What the fuck do you mean war?
I'm going to set up my camp.
I was in the army. I was in the army with a guy who, before he deployed for the first time to Bosnia.
Yeah.
All right. I shit you not. This guy was so funny. It was sad. It was really sad. He was so stupid that he thought the entire world was basically like that you could drive to England.
No.
He thought the whole world was like wrapped up in the United States.
Oh, Jesus.
It's like, how the fuck did you get into the army, bro? You get different time and place post 9/11, I guess.
Yeah.
Or not post 9/11. This wasn't post 9/11, but
well, and
damn, how the fuck does that happen?
I gotta throw it out there because there are so many people who are going. Everybody that I talk to tells me in some way, shape, or form that I cannot do something. That is bullshit. I'm going to tell you right now. The only advice that I ever take from anybody is if I'm gonna get burned. Right? That's pretty much it. Like, hey, you could like really kill yourself doing that shit.
Right.
You know, and don't say that about riding my motorcycle. Yeah, I know that I could die. Yeah, thank you.
But I could die right now eating a piece of fucking cheese.
You're gonna kill yourself on that thing. Jeez, just stop it. Okay, just
you could sit there and die talking with your mouth full. You fuck, telling me that I could die on my motorcycle.
Right, exactly.
Stop chewing with your fucking mouth open.
You're 400 fucking pounds. We're gonna have to rip you out of this double wide with a fucking crane. Jesus Christ. Dude, I'm telling you right now, I just can't stand it. I can't stand when somebody tries to, like, no, I don't know if you noticed, this might as well be a fucking lion's mane, because I am not a sheep. Do not tell me how I can associate with you guys. I have this sector over here. I go and chat with my, my fellow, sheepdog from time to time and hang out with other guardians and other defenders. Basically, they're all batshit crazy as I am. They ride motorcycles and hunt wild animals and trek off into the mountains and do all of that other stuff. We are adventurous, expeditious spirits. That is America, goddammit. I mean, that is the entire thing, and Jesus. I'm telling you, I've been driving around talking with a lot of people who for some reason put up a lot of mental barriers, and you do not need any of that shit. You do not need someone coming out of the woodwork saying you can't do that because somebody else couldn't do that. That is ridiculous. You are finding other new models, you're putting different things together, you've got a backing, and you've got a lot of training. Just because you graduated boot camp doesn't make you a survivalist, don't get me wrong, but you are heads and shoulders above anybody else who's out there. Just goodness. I mean, I say it that way because there are so many fellow veterans who, that's, again, circling back, that's why we did 5-paragraph business plan, right? At 5paragraph.com. That's 5 like the number, the digit, 5paragraph.com. But take your military training. Whatever you did in the military, I don't give a shit. If you're a drone pilot, that's easy. Go fly drones for agriculture. But the whole idea, though, is like, take everything that you learned in the military and catalyze that. And what I mean is use that experience and everything that you learn to go and create something else or do something else on the outside. Oh, well, how does being an amphibious reconnaissance marine key into entrepreneurship? I would imagine a hell of a lot more than you probably thought, huh?
Yep.
Yep. I did not realize that every second of my time in service, I'm not even bullshitting you, dude, standing post benefited me here. Filling sandbags
think about just being in the Marine Corps in general, and more so than the other services too. The reason I say that is, think about, dude, just to go on mission, the Marine Corps had to bootstrap everything. I mean, just think of bootstrapping, meaning doing things on the cheap and getting, bang for your buck. That's what the Marine Corps does. If you didn't have to do that anyway, the freaking Marine Corps taught you how.
Right.
Truly.
Right.
Using hand-me-downs and shit.
Oh my God, yeah.
Kidding me? So, that right there. When you're starting a business, you ain't got no fucking money. So, not usually. Marine knows what and if you do, you're fucking lucky. So, don't fuck it up.
Yep. Every Marine and a whole lot of sailors know exactly what it's like dealing with hand-me-downs, and tap issue. Oh, God. And all of these other different, yeah. Yep. So, yeah, man, don't be sheep. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's going to be a little painful, right? Because you feel like the outsider. There are times where I myself want to belong, and then I go into that, and I'm like, no, this is icky. This is more icky than brushing my teeth with the other hand. It just feels weird. Like, that's weird. Do you switch hands? Anyway, I say it that way because it's like, when I was a kid, I really wanted to fit in. I really wanted to fit in when I was a kid. It's a hell of a lot better? Watching all of the people who fit in look at you going, how in the fuck does that guy do that? I don't want to fit in anymore. I realized that a long time ago, don't get me wrong. But when I was a kid, I really wanted to fit in. And then when I went into the Marine Corps, I fit in rather well. Because I'm fucking nuts, and it worked out. But I say it that way because it's like, I will never be a sheep, ever. Never try to
this is kind of like rolling into our little factoid lesson of the day.
There you go.
It's basically how not to be a sheep.
I love it.
Number one, realize you don't have to fit in, because people are very insecure. And they think they aren't like other people. And what it comes down to is, being brutally honest about this shit is that in some cases, if people don't like you, they don't like who you are, should you even want to be their friend anyway? It's really that simple, right?
Exactly. If you're not adding value to the equation.
Right. Number two, show your true colors. Just be you. Be who you are. Take a big bite of courage and get ready to show the world who you really are. Your true colors. Be who you want to be. What's that fucking quote? Shit. Henry Thoreau. Go confidently in the direction of your dreams. I think that's it. Mm-hmm. And live the life you have imagined. That's it. Go confidently in the direction of your dreams and live the life you have imagined. Henry Thoreau. So be who you want to be. Number four, do what you want. Be free. Be yourself. Now, within constraints, you can't go out on the corner of 6th Avenue and piss on the fucking street. That's just stupid. But if you want to dance in the rain, go dance in the fucking rain. You know what I mean?
Right.
If you want to paint yourself gold and attempt to fly, then fucking do that.
Right.
Whatever. I don't give a shit.
It is totally
if you want to have a lion's
tinfoil
mane
hat wherever you go.
Right. If you want to have a lion's mane and look like fucking Chewbacca, like Penny, then do it. Because number 5 is stop caring what people think.
Like Chewbacca.
Right? Stop caring what people think.
There you go.
I'm guilty. I admit it. I'm guilty as shit sometimes. But all in all, I really don't fucking care. There's only two sets of people that I care. One person is my wife. The other 4 are my kids. The rest of the people, they can kind of suck it.
Right.
Okay?
I'm not saying to detract value out of the world by any means, and neither are you. So long as you don't need to be gleaming all of the time. But we're 2 family men, both fathers, all of this other stuff. The way that I look at it is, I just want my kids to be like, my dad's a really good dude, and he will protect the shit out of me no matter what. My old man will go down swinging hard.
The last 2 things is forget about stereotypes. That's part of what this is about too, right? Forget everything you've learned and basically just be. You are who you are. And then, the last one is love yourself.
That's the biggest.
Don't ever forget it and take it for what it's worth, but love yourself. Because
love yourself's too broad for me.
It's what?
It's too broad for me. Love yourself.
Yeah.
You want to know why? Because I really love that even though I get really nervous before I go into a speaking engagement, I still do. It makes it better, right? I love me for being really good at that. I can honestly look at that as a strength and say, yes, I'm very good as a public speaker.
Well, it's one of those things. Is it really nervousness? Or is it just... Well, because you know what? Biologically, what's happening are the same things that are nervousness, right?
Right.
But I bet you felt the same way before you rolled into a fucking firefight too.
Yeah, well,
or like a spot you knew. You know what I'm saying? So it's that anxious awaiting, whatever. So it's one of those things. You also get the first thing, like I don't even know what the fuck I'm trying to say.
Well, it's like when you go in
basically,
on a raid.
When you can harness that shit, when you can harness it and know that it's not something to run away from. It's something to embrace. Because it's just going to make you better when you get that feeling to embrace it. That feeling that people think is nervousness or scared, that anticipation. Embrace that shit and just soak it in. Seriously. And when you do that, it changes the whole way that you feel. For me, you can feel it like running through your body like energy,
Yeah.
Just crazy. Instead of getting it all twisted up and sick over it, just absorb it. Don't fight it. Just let it flow. So
if it scares you, it's probably worth doing. Like if there's that.
Well, that's how you know it's worth doing.
Right. That like heightened anticipation.
No, I mean, there's real fear and there's certain things you shouldn't do, but you can tell the difference.
Well, and from my own perspective, because you had a quote by Thoreau, and I'll only quote the last stanza of Invictus, "It matters not how strait the gate, how charged with punishments the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul." Victus. So, it matters not how strait the gate. That means, the narrow chance of success is what that means. It matters not how strait the gate is a narrow chance of success. Charged with punishments the scroll. Oh, you told me that I couldn't do that. You came up with that out of your brain, and then you put pen to paper, and now supposedly that's etched in stone? I don't give a shit, right? So, it matters not how strait the gate, how charged with punishments the scroll. You are the master of your fate. You are the captain of your soul. Remember that. Just go. Do it. The world is built on folks like you. That is literally how we exist. The world never once ever changed by a worker bee. Ever. It never happened. Only by the lions. That's it. And if you're amongst the ranks and you've decided hey, this is a better way of doing this, and you're currently a sheep, you can always unplug yourself. You can always hop right out there, right in front, and be like, hey, this is fucked up and here's a better way to do it. I say it because there are so many folks who are like, yeah, well, are they going to take my opinion? If you're unwilling to give it, then no. So I just say it that way because there needs to be a little bit of motivation out there. There needs to be some, dude, you got this. It's one of those things where it's you can make as many mistakes as you want and all of this other stuff. No one is going to die. I do not work in a life-threatening industry. The only stuff that we have here like that is law enforcement and medical professionals. That's it. I know that there are a lot of life-threatening jobs that are out there that you could potentially do, but you are not trying to take a life or save a life, right? You know what I'm saying? So, telling you, don't get mislabeled as sheep. Bennett, you got anything else for these fine folks?
I don't.
I'm going to go through our little thing here because our sponsors... Look, here's the thing that you guys got to understand about our sponsors. They are all fellow veteran owned. They are all collaborators. We have worked together on projects, which is why they are our sponsors. Okay, not because everybody here has buku bucks and they're paying us to talk about them. It's because we like what they do. We're friends and family, essentially, at this point. And just... got to give a quick shout out, veteranslist.us. If you want to get a featured membership on veteranslist.us, you can enter in discount code Cigars and Sea, and you will get a half off featured membership with veteranslist.us. We've had Rick Yost and Will Amos on the show. Look them up. Just type in, Will Amos, Rick Yost on our search bar at cigarsandseastories.com/podcast, and you're going to be able to check out those episodes. Huge thank you to Jeremy Knopf over at Spartan Media. He is getting ready to stand up a digital digital marketing podcast. We'll do a good solid cross-pollination so that you can kind of get a feel of our episodes together. Spartan Media, they continue to impress with search engine optimization on Cigars and Sea Stories. They're fantastic. They were the ones who built the website. Phil and Marine, love them. Good stuff. And last, but certainly not least, Heroes Media Group. Heroes Media Group is the podcast network which we belong to, and it is just, I'm a big fan. I really enjoy their editing services. They offer transcription services now. They do a variety of different things. Get at them at heroesmediagroup.com and check them out right now. Adam just released another, I was out riding my motorcycle. I do not check email when I'm riding a motorcycle. So there's some cool stuff waiting in the inbox. Yep. We'll get it out there to all of you fine folks. Goodness, this is a 48-minute episode. Our listeners rock. You guys rock. Follow us on social media at Cigars and Sea. Stay tuned. And on that note, we cue the music.